I
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Music Industry Insights Worldwide Volume 3. And today I have the amazing Russell with us. Hi, Russell, how are you?
Hi Saskia, I'm good. How are you?
I'm really well. Thank you for asking. And thank you so much for coming on the show today to share your story and a little bit more about what you do. So tell the listeners about yourself, what you do, and a little bit about your background.
Yeah, sure. So my name's Russell. I am the CEO of Madbop, which is a women-focused NFT music platform, and we help support and uplift women in the music industry by empowering them with the Web3 side of things, so such as like metaverse, NFTs, all that kind of sort of stuff. And also we provide numerous services behind the scenes to support them in the music industry. And also I'm the director for Gatherverse as well, which is a humanitarian focused kind of like business. And basically we're putting the humanity first at the forefront of Web3 technology and AI and everything like that as well. So yeah, that's kind of what I do in a nutshell, really.
Super interesting. And obviously, AI and all this NFT, that's quite a new thing in the music industry. So tell us a little bit more about that, what that is. Some of the listeners might not understand it. And obviously, it's another way of kind of making an income stream in the industry. So, yeah, share your views and your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so we'll start with AI specifically first. I think that's the big main thing that's kind of going on right now. So you can think of AI as a tool which you can use as a creator, and it can basically help enhance your creativity, and also help speed things up and automate it. But also it can kind of remove the humanitarian side of things. So, for example, you singing a song, it can kind of remove that aspect, from like your voice being sung and everything like that, and it kind of remove like the emotions and stuff like that from that side of things.
Yeah.
Um, Depending on kind of how you use it and what tools you use.
Mhm.
So I'd say the AI side of things is generally a positive, but it can also be a negative too,
I'm glad you
for
said,
creators.
yeah, I'm glad you said that because it can also copy people's work. It can kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a shortcut way in some aspects, but it can also kind of supplement the work you do and kind of be an addition to the tools that you already use. So I think, yeah, I'm really glad that you said that it's not all good because I'm concerned about some of the ways that AI is used. But what about the NFTs? Tell us a bit more about that.
Generally, I love NFTs. I think it's one of the best things ever come out for creators. Not only offering new ways in monetizing your work, but also building that direct fan to artist engagement, and being able to sell different creative aspects direct to fans,
Yeah,
and building that connection even deeper with fans directly.
right.
um so I really think that's so important for creators and for artists. And yeah, I just love the fact that you can have ownership of digital items now, rather than just renting a song and listening to it on Spotify, and or
Yeah,
even just getting cents, less than 1 cent or whatever, per play.
yeah.
I just think the whole pay discrepancy is horrible for creators, and I think this is just gonna kind of revolutionize things for independence and put independence first. But
I
also, like, I go ahead.
Yeah, I really like that. And I also like the way kind of, you can kind of connect with audiences, new audiences, and in different ways. And like you said, it's diversifying your income stream. So what kind of level do you think an artist needs to be at to kind of be in this NFT world? And not just the NFT, the metaverse as well, because they're all linked, aren't they? So the metaverse, the NFTs, and AI, I suppose they're in this futuristic kind of computerized world. So we're all getting used to it. So what do you think about that?
I think the level, to be honest, you can be any level. You can be big, small, even with a following of less than 100 people, 100 true fans, so to speak. I think you can still monetize your work and still allow, that direct engagement with your fans directly, and, being able to, take advantage of what the new technology offers, to creators. I really like, I, I just love I just love NFTs completely, and not just like the monetization side and also the connection, but also like the benefits that it offers fans as well. Like, for example, the fact that you can have unique virtual experiences that you've never been able to before if you have an NFT, or the fact that you can help, basically support your artists directly by buying their work directly from them. Stuff like that, has not really been done before. Like a subscription directly to the artist it doesn't directly support them, whereas like buying something that they've created, an asset they've created, and actually buying their work directly from them and saying, hey, I actually love that piece of work, and that's the reason why I'm buying it, and I'm actually giving you money for that, shows their true support for the artist. So yeah,
that's lovely. And if everyone doesn't know what that means, that's a non-fungible token, is that correct?
Yeah, so the way, in very simple terms, an NFT is basically just like basically ownership of an asset, and also authorizing that asset. So there's kind of like two components to it, but basically it's just from a technology standpoint, it's just basically adding like some hash code number to your file, and basically it just does those two things through adding that hash to the digital file, like an MP3, MP4, anything like that, basically.
And do you need like a specialist or somebody to do that for you? Can anyone do that? Or how do you go around? Say, for example, I'm an artist and I really want to get an NFT, but I don't know how to do it myself. How would I go around doing that?
I mean, there's so many like platforms and marketplaces out there now that you can use. OpenSea is obviously the most obvious one. You've got so many different like platforms you can use, like Sound XYZ, for example. You've also obviously got Madbop as well.
Yeah.
And there's so many like kind of places that you can do that with, that really you don't even need to have any sort of knowledge of the technology or the coding. You can just kind of go to those platforms and marketplaces, use them, create your NFT, so to speak, upload your asset, which would be your song or your video or whatever, and then basically just turn that into an NFT. I think that's kind of like the best starting point.
Yeah.
And then when you kind of want to get a bit more advanced into that, and you want to say, okay, well, now I want to like have my own NFT thing, and I want to have my own website and stuff like that, then that's when you kind of go a bit more advanced into it. But as for at least your first NFT, you just kind of want to dip your toe in it, using platforms like those would be your best bet.
Does it cost a lot of money? How much does it cost?
Again, this depends on the blockchain, but majority are on Polygon, which is like I don't want to get too technical, but basically it's a really kind of like fast blockchain which you can kind of do NFTs with. Okay. Creating an NFT on something like that, you're talking pence. It's not that much at all. Like, right. I think it's like 40 cents or something like that to do it.
The profit that as well then. So if you're doing these and anyone's interested in kind of boosting their income, this is a really good way of doing so, right? Especially in the music and arts, in the creative industries, not just even music. Anyone in the creative industries could use that. Is that right?
Yes, 100%. And I think it offers like it just helps artists out so much in so many different ways. Like if I literally talked about every single benefit that it does offer, like we'll be here for the entire podcast just talking about that.
I'll do that.
Honesty. And that's not including the fan side, that's just including the creators aspect. So but I really kind of urge anyone who's listening right now, and you are a creator or an artist or producer or writer or anything kind of along these sort of lines, to get into it, to get involved in it, to start creating your first NFT, just even become part of communities or become part of Madbop or whatever you kind of place that you use, and just start dipping your toe in. I think that's the best kind of starting point, and then you can kind of get a further understanding after that by watching different educational videos or talking to other people in the community or whatever, right?
Yeah. So, words, Russell. Thanks for sharing that. Thank you. And kind of how long have you actively been in the music and entertainment industries for?
So I would say like the NFT space, particularly like Web3 side of things, for 3 years. I was in the radio industry for many, many years. And for the music industry specifically, I would say I'm fairly new to the music industry, like directly. I'd say like a couple years again, the same as the NFTs and Web3 side of things. But like in the entertainment industry as a whole, I have been in it for quite a while. So yeah.
Do it. You know what you're doing.
Yes. And you know, over the years of, interviewing many artists and creators and everything, there's just been so many problems that, I've seen pop up over and over and over again. And I just knew as soon as this technology came out and I just accidentally fell upon it, that it was just gonna just change the industry as a whole, change things for creators as a whole, and just benefit society in general.
Yeah.
And that's not including, like I said, the AI or the metaverse side, which are two completely different subjects. But the NFT specifically, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, totally agree with you on that. So how long have you had a musical education, and like have you had any kind of, I know you've got the work experience side, but did you have any kind of educational side of stuff before you got into the industry?
I'll be honest, me back, God, my music side of things back in school, I was actually never really good at music in school. I'll be honest with you. I used to just mess around and just use it as like a mess around time.
I know
Um,
I did that. I was took it really seriously because I love music, but some people's like, yeah, we're just gonna bang the drums and play this and play that. I loved it.
yeah, yeah, I was kind of like that. I was kind of like, let's just like bash the drums or just play the guitar. To be fair, I did learn the acoustic guitar, which I did love. Well, my first song I ever played was "Hey Jude" by the Beatles.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do like playing the acoustic guitar. But generally, I just kind of like messed around. Really, I was just like, and I never really took it serious in school. And it wasn't until obviously I left school I was like, okay, now I'm in the real world now, right?
What we're gonna do
My
now.
Yes, exactly. My passion is music. So all right, let's do something that involves with music. And I just kind of end up going into radio because it's like, wow, I can get paid to talk, and also I get to do music and still play the songs and talk about music. I'm like, yes, this is awesome. So
Wow, that's really inspirational. Thank you for sharing that as well. So, like in your career, what kind of challenges and barriers have you faced? Accessing the music industry, progressing in the music industry, being innovative in the music industry as you are right now, because some of the things you're doing right now are innovative, they're new, they've not been
hmm.
tested before. So, how's your reactions been to that? What kind of barriers and what kind of issues have you had to overcome to be where you are today?
Oh god, a lot. I remember when I first got into NFTs and I started, contacting people in the music industry and the record labels,
Yeah.
and I started reaching out to them on LinkedIn, and I was like, oh hey, like we're doing this like music platform. We'd love to do some NFTs with you. And the email I would get back every single time, or the message I'll get back every single time was, what's an NFT and what is this
Yeah.
thing? Like, what the hell is it?
Yeah.
And I literally had that for the entire first year that I was in um was in it. So that was a major challenge until year two, when obviously everyone started finding out about it, they started learning about it, and it became like a normal thing. But the first year was absolutely like that, and they didn't understand it, and I'd
I
have
was
numerous
that too.
meetings.
Hands up.
Sorry.
I was at uni doing my master's degree, and it was some of the things that we were learning at the time: blockchain, ethereal, and Bitcoin, and all these new kind of cryptocurrencies. So it was something I learned as music marketing for my master's degree, but it was something I didn't know about until I was actually re-educating myself in the industry. And I think it was at the right time. I was doing that in 2021. So I totally understand. I think I had to educate myself on it, but I can really see some of the benefits. And do you think it kind of reaches out into gaming as well? How do you think that kind of works? Because again, gaming is a massive part of the creative industries now. Do you think that
Mm,
part of that, or a way of connecting
yeah.
international?
No, I think gaming is an important step. And I don't mean like it has to be like a game itself that you have to go into, like Roblox or whatever.
Yeah.
I think you can still have sort of like a gaming aspect to it, like make it in a fun way where you get rewarded for doing certain actions or purchasing a certain NFT and stuff like that. I think that's a really cool way in doing that and in interacting with the audience
Engage
um
audience.
and yeah, exactly. So I think that's important. I do think the gaming side itself though is extremely important though, because that is helping push things forward. You know, like the Justin Bieber performing in there, and you know, Taylor Swift, and sorry, say it again.
I saw that as well. I also saw some of these artists now are doing international concerts as like an avatar, right? So there's different ways of doing things eco-friendly and sustainable, and doing a worldwide thing in your front room. I think all of these things are kind of opening up new avenues, aren't they? And helping emerging artists to grow and develop. So I think they're
Yeah, and just looking at this from a humanitarian aspect, like yeah, it's I think the metaverse is without kind of going into too deep, but the whole gaming side of things and allowing you know artists to perform virtually is extremely important, because not only are you helping save the planet, but also the amount of like costs that you're saving is like tremendous.
exactly,
Um
yeah.
yeah, and if you're an independent as well, like those costs that you're saving is huge, and then you know you can have more people in one place than what you ever would, you know, in an event that you would do like in London, for example.
Yeah, yeah.
um so I think it's extremely important for engagement and bringing people community together and allowing fans to experience you know, having a live experience as well with you still. Obviously it's not the same as in person, you can never replicate that, but it gets as close to it as possible.
Yes.
um yeah, and I think that is really important for artists to, you know, be performing that side of things and get engaged with that side of things and everything. So yeah, that is extremely important, the metaverse.
I agree. So kind of when you were looking at quality, diversity, and inclusion in the music industry, what are your thoughts and feelings on what's going on at the moment? How do you think we've progressed? How far do you think we've got to go? What's your views and thoughts on that?
I think a lot of things have come a long way. Generally as a whole, I think, you know, it's moving in the right direction. I think there's still a lot more to be done still. I, you know, really think that, you know, Web3 and NFTs and metaverse and all that kind of stuff is going to help push that even further and change things even further, because these are kind of active technologies that can help, you know, push the equality side of things and inclusion.
To a worldwide
Um,
audience as well, right? To a worldwide audience, not just to a local one or an national one. This is worldwide, isn't it? So
exactly, yeah. And you know, I think this will also encourage you know, more women as well who are, you know, currently in the space, will help encourage them to, you know, keep pursuing their careers, but also bring more women creators into the space as well as men. And
diverse groups too, and other diverse and underrepresented.
exactly, yeah. And I really think that, you know, it's really positive, this technology as a whole, which is going to help, you know, people across the board. So yeah, I think this technology is really important for that and helping push that even further. And yeah, like we're seeing the reeks of it now, where there's more people coming into the space and that now. So yeah, I'm happy with the way that things are moving, but uh there's still a lot more to be done yet. That's for sure. So
What would you like to see improve then? If you think we've got a long way to go, what are the main two things that you would like to see improve over the next 5 years, let's say?
number one is obviously uh more people like keeping their creative careers, right? Because a lot of women, for example, they tend to quit their creative careers because of, you know, peer pressuring and harassment and all this kind of sort of stuff too. So I think, like, you know, more women, like, you know, staying in the space and keeping their careers and stuff, I think that's extremely important. And being able to monetize that as well.
Yeah.
Again, that's why the new technology is going to be so important. And number two, also it's just having more people in different power positions as well. That's the other thing I kind of keep seeing a lot is a lack of diversity at the top of like record labels and stuff like that, where they're not being given the power, so to speak, and or not allowing giving them the room to be able to be like part of the board meetings and stuff like that. Or sometimes a lady would come in, say what she says, and then they'll take that and they'll go, oh, thanks very much, and then they'll then take it for themselves rather than the actual giving credit to the lady who actually said that in the boardroom. So I think that's also important as well. So those are the kind of like the two top main things: is more people coming into the space and keeping their creative careers, and then the second one is more diversity at the top, and also different genders also having more power, rather than kind of
more representative. More representative of the community in which we live, right?
So exactly. Yeah.
I think, yeah, that's a great answer. I think I really agree with you on that. And that kind of links into the next question I was going to ask you. So do you think cultural and age differences have an effect on the progress of equality and diversity in the music and entertainment industries?
Yes. I 100% believe that, because I think it's it's the 20th century where kind of things have progressed, moved forward, and changed. Before that, it was very it wasn't until like the 1960s where like the whole feminist movement even started, and they could have jobs in the workplaces. So I think the kind of older generations as a whole is not as welcoming, or they might still like kind of have old-fashioned views. Whereas a lot of younger generations like Gen Zs and millennials and stuff like that, they're a lot more welcoming, and they're a lot more like, doesn't matter what your gender is or what your sexual preference is or anything like that. I find that the younger generations are a lot more welcome about it, and allow you to kind of like truly be who you want to be, and allow you to be part of the community, and a part of the team, or a part of whatever that you're doing, kind of thing. So I think, yeah, younger generations, you'll find that a lot better, whereas the older generations, they're kind of stuck in their ways, so to speak.
A little bit, not everyone, and I wouldn't generalize.
No. Sorry, my bad. But like, yeah, like just you just can't. It's just a time difference. That's all it is, And it's just technology and everything that's changed things as well. Social media, all this kind of sort of stuff. Everything, all that kind of sort of stuff has changed things a lot. So,
yeah, I agree. So, do you think that the music industry has kind of had any impacts or negative impacts on you as a person and your mental health?
Me personally, or just generally?
Just you in person, but maybe generally, if you feel in general, or yourself in person, whichever way you would like to answer that. I don't really mind.
Has it affected my mental health? I mean, so I went to an event yesterday. It was an Amplify Her event, and they were asking different women creators on the stage what their thoughts were being in the music industry as a woman and everything. And there has been a lot of mental health issues across the board for many women in the music industry, where they have felt like they're alone, or they had anxiety problems or depression or anything that sort of those lines kind of thing, which I generally heard across the board last night. And after going to that event, it kind of opens your eyes, like there are still so many mental health issues in the space as a whole, that there needs to be kind of more done for that, whether that's through HR or some sort of like support system which can help creators like that. I do truly believe that, because I've also had mental health issues in the past, and this was before I got into the music industry. But I can really relate to kind of going through that. And I do think that, you know, mental health is extremely important, which should be talked about a lot more, which isn't in the music industry especially. Um, and yeah, I think there needs to be systems or something, some support system put in place to support that, and making sure that, you know, creators are, you know, being able to be freely creative without kind of any issues. So I do truly believe that. Like I said, being a sufferer myself. So
We're
yeah.
having conversations as well now around the mental health issues in the music industry. We've got music support, we've got some great organizations like Music Matters, and we've also got kind of help musicians that support artists and musicians that are suffering from mental health. So if anyone is listening to this that might be struggling with a mental health or wants to talk to someone, please do check out these amazing organizations. And again, I've also done training in mental health first aid and suicide awareness, because I do understand
Mm,
the importance of that in the music industry, and also the pressures that are on artists as well as creators and professionals in the industry. It's a very intense industry, it's a very fast-paced industry, and
yeah.
it's not a 9 to 5 job. It's not, sometimes it's not even a job, it's just a passion, you know? So I think it's about protecting yourself and knowing your energy and what you're kind of putting your energy into. I think it's really important as well. So I appreciate covering that, and thank you for sharing some of your own personal stories on.
I just wanted to jump on that quickly again. Sorry. You know, one other thing as well is, you know, for creatives, you know, I've been allowed to be, you know, freely creative. It's kind of a therapeutic process as well, which artists go through to allowing to get their mental health and their issues out.
Relief.
Um,
Yeah.
Now, not that's not to say that it solves it, but it does, you know, help with that. And that's why I think, you know, allowing creators to be freely creative is an extremely important part of that. But that's just my view on that. So.
No, I think that's a valid point. And you do a lot of work around equality and gender equality in the music industry. So tell us a little bit more about that, because I know you do Mad Bop and your NFTs and stuff, but tell us a little bit more about the equality and diversity work that you also do, because you're an ally to women and underrepresented groups. So that's really nice to hear. And thank you for your support. But just tell us a little bit more about that as well.
Yeah, I mean, like I try to, you know, support every single sort of I try to support as many communities as possible, like whether that's just, you know, being part of them or talking to individuals, you know, specifically. And you know, what I just try to do is just try to basically you know, be there and you know, support and just encourage them to encourage people to keep on going, because you know, I think male allies are extremely important in all of this. And I really think that, you know, if men do, you know, help play their role in all of this as well, that they can also, you know, help, you know, make things change and bring a positive change to the industry, on top of everything else. So I just basically just, you know, as a person, this is not me being mad bop or anything, but just generally as a person to, you know, be a part of people, be supportive of them, encourage them, and just, you know, help out in kind of any way possible, whether that's just giving them some small advice or just giving like them like a, for example, on our podcast, giving them a free space to be able to talk in and to freely express themselves and give different points of views. And I think all of that is really important. Having these discussions is extremely important, and as long as we can continue doing that, and men can keep you know, helping uplift women as well, as well as supporting in general, I think all these are important to be able to continue the progress moving forward, and even for transgenders as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that one as well. And I think it's also about, like, you know, because you're a male and you're an ally. I've been to several kind of organization talks and conferences, and I always say this, I think there's enough room around the table for everyone to have a discussion and to share that and to have an input on what needs to change, and we need to listen to everyone's views and values. So as a man yourself, how have you found that in women's spaces? Do you find yourself always accepted? Do you find yourself always welcome? Because I've been into several organizations where I find that it's more of an anti-male environment and it's more of a women empowerment thing, which I totally agree with. But I think do also need to have everyone around the table to share that dialogue, those views, that experience, and to also support those underrepresented groups. So have you found any challenges with that?
Yeah, I think there are I think there are some, groups or some places where it's obviously just focused specifically on women, but what I mean by that is like the whole group is just women and guys aren't allowed in there. You're like they look at you and go, "Oh, because you're a guy now. You're not
Yeah.
allowed, sorry."
Yeah.
And yeah, you do get that quite a bit. I think there are certain women groups though, for example, Amplify Her, which I went to yesterday, that are actually welcome of guys and actually want to want guys allow guys to support women and to help bring change and stuff like that. So I think there are certain organizations out there that are helpful on that side of things, but there also are certain organizations that aren't and exclude. So yeah, like being a guy myself, wanting to be a man ally, it can be challenging. It can, you know, I've told people that I own a women focused NFT platform. And they're like, some people just like stick their noses in them. I'm like, what? Like, why are you doing a thing to help women when you're a guy? So I do get that sometimes as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, generally though, it's just it kind of just varies organization to organization, but sometimes it can be hard. But other times, you get welcomed in and you can help support and make change for the better. So yeah, it
So,
just depends.
yeah, I'm sorry to hear that because that's a shame that you're trying to be an ally and support others, and sometimes there's resistance even there. So again, having these conversations and making people aware of that, just having these conversations, people think actually maybe we should be inviting men along, so just having these talks can initiate change. So I think that's really important too. Thank you again, Russell, for that. And what kind of major successes and wins to date have you had in the music industry? And have you got any more up and coming projects or singles or anything else that you would like to share with our viewers?
So did you say success today and then also
Up,
anything that's
and,
project?
yeah, that you've got up and coming that you'd like to share with us.
Yeah, so on the Mailbot side of things, we're going to be launching the platform. Well, the aim is to launch the platform on September the 20th. We're going to be having 5 specific artists, which we will be putting on there as our first artists for the beta. So finally, that will be going once again. We've had many pivots and long transitions over the last couple of years, so I'm kind of excited about that we're finally going to be crossing that hurdle where we finally launch and finally being putting artists on there. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is with the Galaverse side, we are doing some major things on that side of things. So for example, we're currently raising 300 million for humanitarian causes on that side of things, to help support other humanitarian focused businesses, as well as just basically putting humanity first before AI technology being first kind of thing. So that's the other side of things, is we're raising that money right now as well. So if you are interested in that, you can check out Galaverse for that. And yeah, those are kind of the 2 main things that are really going on right now. And also we're going to be releasing a new podcast as well for the Galaverse side, as well, which is another project that we're doing as well. And yeah, I think that's about it at the moment, really.
Lots of stuff going on. That's what I like to hear. Always keeping
Yeah.
busy.
Yeah. And obviously the women music, the women music podcast as well. We're still doing that. And we're currently recording for that as well right now. So that's the other thing we're doing as well. Yeah.
So if anyone wants to follow you or check you out, do you have any handles that you would like to share with us, or any links or email addresses We will drop everything in the description below, but just in case you want to share them with the listeners at the moment, do you want to give them out?
Sure. The best place to mostly reach me is on LinkedIn. I literally live on LinkedIn, like you, Saskia. So yeah, if you want to reach me, you can add me on there, which is Russell Bundy. You can just search me up, or linkedin.com/Russell Bundy. You can find me in there. If not, then you can also reach out to me on Instagram directly as well, which is Russell Bundy as well. All one word, no spaces. And yeah, so you can even reach me on Instagram or on LinkedIn, and I'd be happy to have any conversations if anyone's interested in the podcast side, or if you have business partnerships you want to do, or different business opportunities or anything like that. Like I said, I'm open to having these talks and collaborations. So yeah.
Thank you again for your time, sharing your views, your opinions, and your story. Super inspirational, and I really appreciate your time. So thanks, Russell, again, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, Saskia, and it's been a pleasure to be on your podcast.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. Speak soon.